Hello, everyone. Welcome. Today I'm going to be talking about the personal software process, or PSP, and the team software process, or TSP. Both were created by the Software Engineering Institute, and the main idea behind them is to build quality into software as a repeatable habit. In other words, instead of relying on luck or last minute fixes, these frameworks help make software development more disciplined, measurable, and consistent. We all see how messy software projects can get. Deadlines get missed, code quality drops, and suddenly teams are spending more time fixing bugs than actually building new features. Traditional models like waterfall or even agile help with structure, sure, but they don't necessarily teach developers how to work in a consistent, disciplined way. That's where PSP and TSP come in. They fill the gap by focusing on measurable accountability and continuous improvement, both for individuals and for the team. These ideas were developed by Watts Humphrey, who worked at Carnegie Mellon Software Engineering Institute. He realized that if we wanted to improve software, we need to first measure how we're actually going to do it. He's the one who said, you can't manage or improve what you don't measure. So, he created two frameworks: PSP, which helps individuals get better at managing their own work, and TSP, which scales those principles up for a team level. His goal was simple: make software engineering more predictable, more measurable, and in many ways, disciplined. So let's start with PSP, the personal software process. This is all about you as a developer. It helps you measure your own work. Things like how long you spend on coding, where defects are coming from, and how accurate your estimates are. By tracking that kind of data, you can see patterns and actually improve on your work. It's kind of like being your own performance coach for coding, turning guesswork into data-driven improvement. Here's how PSP breaks down. You start by planning your work, estimating how a big task is, and how much time it'll take. Then you design and code following your own standards. You review your work carefully, catching mistakes before testing even begins. Then, of course, you test and finish with a post-mortem where you compare what you estimated versus what actually happened. That reflection step is key. It's where you really start learning from your own process and getting better each time. PSP focus heavily on metrics. You track time, numbers of defects, and even how many lines of code you've written. It sounds like a lot, but those numbers help you see trends. Like maybe you always underestimate debugging time or spending too long on design. By understanding that, you can plan better and produce high quality work. Over time, developers using PSP have been able to consistently hit deadlines and even achieve zero defect releases. Pretty cool, right? Now, let's move up a level to TSP, the team software process. If PSP helps individual developers become more disciplined, TSP helps entire teams work together efficiently. It takes those same measurements and quality principles and applies them to coordination, planning, and communication. Basically, TSP makes sure that all those good personal habits actually align at the team level, so everyone's rowing in the same direction. TSP teams assign specific roles so that nothing slips through the cracks. You've got a team leader who keeps everything on track, a planning manager who handles estimates and schedules, and a quality or process manager focused on defect tracking, a support manager for tools and environment setup, and a development manager who oversees the technical side. These roles help make sure the team runs smoothly and that everyone knows what they're responsible for. A typical TSP project goes through the three main phases. First, the launch. That's where the team defines goals, assigns roles, builds a plan, and identifies risks. Next, you have the development cycles. This is where team members use PSP methods, track progress weekly, and integrate their work continuously. Finally, the post-mortem, where the team looks back at what worked, what didn't, and how to improve on the next project. It's a structured way to make sure teams are learning and improving every single time. TSP teams rely on some core practices, things like detailed planning, data-driven decisions, quality tracking, and continuous improvement. And benefits are huge. Studies have shown that teams using TSP can reduce schedule overruns from over 100% down to under 10% and cut defect rates dramatically. Team morale also goes up because everybody has a clear role and can actually see the impact of their work. Some teams even get defect rates as low as 0.06 per thousand lines of code. That's practically flawless. So how does PSP and TSP fit together? Think of PSP as the foundation. That's what makes each developer disciplined and consistent. TSP then builds on that, coordinating those individuals into well-structured, high-performing teams. When you combine the two, you get what's called a data-driven teamwork. Everyone's responsible for their own quality, and that personal accountability scales up to create a team-wide success. These processes aren't just academic, they're used in real industries. Companies in aerospace, defense, and healthcare, where reliability is crucial, have all used PSP and TSP to achieve massive quality improvements. One fintech company, for example, saw a 70% reduction in production bugs, and cuts delivery delays by more than half, all within a few months. Across industry, teams using these frameworks have achieved near zero defects rate and incredibly accurate scheduling. It just goes to show how much different discipline processes can make. So to wrap it all up, PSP focused on individual developments and developers, helping you to improve your accuracy, quality, and accountability. TSP focused on teams, helping groups work together, work more reliably, predictability, and delivers higher quality results. Together, they create a culture where quality becomes a habit, not just a goal. I really like this quote from Aristotle. Quality is not just an act, it's a habit. And that's exactly what PSP and TSP are about, making quality a normal part of how you work every day. Thank you for watching.